So my client is going back to work after having a baby and is curious if she can still breastfeed her baby and what are some tips and ideas that she can do while she's at work and continue breastfeeding her child. So some suggestions that I have is that you can totally express milk and then provide it for your baby while you're gone. And some of the ways that you can do that is by expressing manually with your hands, or you can use a pump, and there's manual pumps or electrical pumps. So I'll go a little bit over the details of that. One of the main questions that moms ask is how often should I pump or express milk? And I would say that if you are gone during 3 or 4 feedings of your baby, then that's how much I would pump during the time that you're gone. I wouldn't do more than that, because then you're dealing with an oversupply and full breasts and mastitis and all of that. So most of the time, the reason why moms have to pump is because they have to go back to work. So make sure that when you're at work, you're communicating with your employer of what you need and how often you need to have breaks. And most of the time, they're really good about that. If not, then we can do a note for them that you need to pump while working, take some breaks. The one thing that you need to make sure is that you're relaxed and comfortable. So find a room where there's no distractions, where it's not cold, have something to read or something warm to drink. Just totally relax. And if you use your hands, some tips and ideas that you can use is if you do one side, you take your breast and you put your thumb on the bottom and your index finger on top right next to your nipple, and you massage them towards the back and then push them together towards each other until all the milk is expressed from that area, and then you can move on to the next area all throughout the breast. Usually it takes about 5 or 6 different positions, and then you switch sides. If you're using a pump, make sure that it's sterilized, that nothing that touches the milk that you are touching or anybody is touching. Even if it's a brand new pump, make sure that you sterilize it before you use. Pumps come in different sizes, variations, costs. You can buy one. Insurances, a lot of insurances cover breast pumps. You can rent one. It doesn't matter. See what works for you. There are manual pumps that you use with your hand, or there are electrical ones. And the electrical ones, you can do one breast at a time or 2 breasts together. So it just depends. Same as your hand expressions, find a room that's quiet. Start off with the lowest section, and then put the cup over your breast. Make sure that your nipple is aligned. Turn it on the lowest section. If there's no pain or discomfort, continue up to the highest section. If there is, stop the machine, rearrange, and start again. The one thing that I tell all of my moms is make sure that you are labeling your milk, and on the label, make sure that you have your name, your baby's name, the date that it was expressed, the use by date. So if you freeze it, make sure the frozen date is on there, and if you thaw it, make sure the thaw date is written on there. To store milk, freshly pumped milk is only good in room temperature for 6 to 8 hours. If you put it right away in the fridge, it's good for 2 to 5 days. So a lot of times what moms do is they'll take their breast pump and they'll have a little cooler or lunch bag, and once they're done pumping, they put the milk in the lunch box or the bag and put it in the fridge. Make sure that it's not close to the door, it's further in the back of the fridge. It stays longer like that, stays fresh longer like that. If you freeze right away, if it's a side-by-side freezer or a freezer that's connected to the fridge, it's about good for 3 months. If it's a chest freezer that's on its own, a lot of moms like to do that because the milk stays fresh longer for 6 to 12 months. So previously frozen milk, you can thaw in the refrigerator or store it in room temperature. It's good for about 4 hours. If you thaw it in the refrigerator, it's good for 24 hours. And you can never refreeze frozen milk. So once you take it out of the freezer, it either needs to be used or needs to be thrown away. You can also thaw milk in warm water, so you can take a bottle, put warm water in a cup, put the bottle in the cup, and let it thaw like that. It's good for 4 hours at room temperature, and then you can stick it in the fridge and use it throughout the day for 24 hours. And same as before, don't refreeze it, throw it away. So don't express more than you would if you were feeding your baby, so you're not dealing with oversupply. Don't be stressed about it. Just be relaxed, and then you can continue breastfeeding. You can continue working. It's a way to connect your baby. Your baby's getting the good nutrition it needs. Let us know if we can help you with anything, and I hope that answered all your questions.